Greetings, everyone. I'm coming at you now with breaking news. We have Zelensky's response to the Trump-Putin call that happened earlier. As you know, we did a live stream covering that, and all the details are there. You can go back. We covered it from the Ukrainian perspective, the American perspective, and the Russian perspective. Well, now Zelensky, of course, traveling. He has now responded. He has put out a video talking about different topics, giving statistics about Russia striking Ukrainian territories, also talking about his and Ukraine's response to how we will go forward from this point. I have every comment that he made, and I'm going to share it with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. This is it. There's no big, huge video, just a very simple, short video he put out with some statistics. He was talking with some reporters, and then he made another statement. But what I have done is summarized his responses, and they are very interesting. And to be quite honest, they are exactly what I expected. As you know, after Russia had agreed to a ceasefire on energy, which Putin said, and then Putin had also said that he had called his military to not strike. Already, we have ballistics flying on Sumy. We have Slavyansk that has been hit by MLRS systems and completely de-energized in the city. There have been strikes and Shaheeds flying over Kyiv. It is a non-stop barrage against the infrastructure. We also have the ships in the Black Sea ready to launch their ballistic missiles. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has been played today like a fiddle by Vladimir Putin. Now, I will give you this little clip from President Zelensky, and then I will break down the facts for you. This is just a piece of what Zelensky said.
If Trump can focus on details without hitting energy and sea, if that's the first step, and there aren't others yet, let him explain how we'll do it. I'm sure all parties, at least the American and Ukrainian sides, will support any steps to reduce strikes on both military and civilian infrastructure. Whatever it is, we'll support such steps.
Now, let me explain to you something about Ukrainian culture. You could see the veins in Zelensky's neck, and I'm just telling you, he was frustrated, turning the head to the side. Let Trump explain how this is going to happen. And Zelensky, already knowing that Slavyansk has been struck hard, ballistics have hit Sumy, Shaheeds are flying in Kyiv. He says, okay, we agree to not striking the energy sector, but let Trump explain how this is going to work. Now, what other things did Vladimir Zelensky, President Zelensky, state? It was actually during a press conference and then also with another one, but I've got everything summarized for you right here. First of all, here are his statements. He called the prisoner exchange that Vladimir Putin offered, 175 for 175, as a gesture of goodwill, a complete lie. Not about the prisoner exchange, but that was not some new offer that Vladimir Putin was doing out of goodwill. Zelensky said, I already knew about that prisoner exchange. I received this information from the SBU and the GUR. This is our exchange, and this was thought out in advance. This was not Putin's work. This was not some gesture of goodwill. This was nothing but a lie. He additionally stated, it is obvious the Russian Federation is not ready even for the first step towards ending the war. The first step, not striking energy infrastructure. Within minutes, literally, Slavyansk and other targets hit. He said, we have always supported the position of not using any weapons in the energy sector. And ladies and gentlemen, we know that Ukraine is able to absolutely demolish Russian infrastructure. Oil, electric, you name it, they can nail it with those long-range strikes. Additionally, with the continuing lies about the surrounding of Ukrainian troops in Kursk, there are 0 troops surrounded. Ukraine is still in the Kursk region, holding their lines. Yes, they're not in Suja, but they are holding their lines. Nobody is surrounded. They're all lies. Trump has fallen for it. That's some gesture of goodwill. I'm saving Ukrainian lives. Zelensky saying Ukrainian military personnel remain in Kursk and will be there as long as we need this operation. Additionally, he said, I am confident that assistance to Ukraine will continue and our partners will not abandon us. I'm really hopeful that the United States will not abandon, to be quite honest, and the EU will pick it up. If Russia attacks our energy sector, Zelensky stated, we will not remain silent. We will respond. Ladies and gentlemen, They have already hit the energy sector. Going to be interesting to see if Ukraine strikes again today, tomorrow on the energy infrastructure system of Russia. He also made the statement, we are not a salad, meaning like a salad bar or compote. If you're here and you're an American or maybe from a nation you do not know what compote is, it's a fruit drink. Very, very, very famous, very, very tasty there in Ukraine, made out of dried fruits and smoked fruits. It's wonderful. We're not a salad or a compote to be on Putin's menu despite his appetites. Additionally, the last couple of things Zelensky stated, he's not happy, guys. I'm telling you right now. Putin is making demands on Trump to weaken Ukraine. In particular, he is raising the sensitive topic of mobilization. He wants the size of our army to decrease. This was confirmed. Putin declaring that these were demands that mobilization be stopped. Additionally, Putin was demanding that the Kremlin also insist on the cessation of military aid, like from the United States and intelligence, and also the allies. He's seeking to weaken Ukraine as much as possible. Zelensky also saying that they are seeing the signs of new offensives against the Sumy region, the Kharkiv region, and the Zaporizhia region, fully expecting Russia to continue to push as hard as possible. And the last thing, we know Donald Trump standing on Air Force One, making the great statement where I'm going to have the talk with Putin and we're going to talk about land and we're going to talk about divvying up assets and we're going to talk about that big power plant that's on the border. Of course, it's not on the border. It's on occupied Ukrainian territory there in Energodar in the Zaporizhia region, not even close to the real border of Ukraine. Russia has stolen it as of this moment. If you are wondering where Ukraine stands on the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, quote, we will not allow the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant to work for the occupier. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, Zelensky's not happy. This is not how it was supposed to go. The United States offered everything that Ukraine had agreed to in Saudi Arabia. And Trump today praising it as a great call, a great report. It's so great that we are allowing missiles and bombs to drop right now on Slavyansk and Sumy, while Putin and Trump are talking about restoring relationships, building economic empires, and playing hockey games in America to show goodwill. How would you feel tonight if you were a Ukrainian? How would you feel tonight if you were President Zelensky, who has done everything? And ladies and gentlemen, this is right on the heels of the Trump administration basically admitting that they prodded Zelensky into that Oval Office debacle, that they basically admitted that they did that to get Zelensky to change his tune so that negotiations could go on with Russia. What an epic failure on the Trump administration. What an epic failure on the call today. Zelensky, stand strong. The world stands with you. And ladies and gentlemen, Ukraine is not laying down. They are fighting for truth, for justice, for freedom, and for the future. We're going to see what happens next, but I have no idea what to predict. Nobody else does. But there's one thing for sure. Ukraine's not going to take this laying down. They're going to stand and they're going to fight. And we're going to stand beside them. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting. The channel's growing like crazy, and it's because of you. Please leave a comment. What do you think of Zelensky's thoughts? What do you think of Zelensky's statements? You supportive? And do you think the call today was basically absolute failure? I do. You guys be blessed. We'll be back at you later.